Today I'm joined by Matt Ryan, a tennis coach who's recently moved to Dubai and is in the process of building his business from the ground up. We're talking about what it's really like to make the move here, the challenges, the opportunities, and how Dubai rewards people who back themselves and take action. If you've ever thought about moving here to start something of your own, you'll get a lot from this conversation. Let's get into this. Welcome to the show, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, tennis coach.
Tennis coach.
Tell me all about it. What brings you to Dubai?
Where to start? So my career basically started a long time ago now. I got into tennis around 5 years old. My parents were very kind of sporty, pushed me into all exercises, activities, rugby, football, cricket. But tennis always stood out as the sport that I would kind of sign up to the next class, or in my spare time, I would go to the local club and play on the wall or play with friends. So for me, tennis was always the sport that kind of drew me to it, which then led to me becoming a coach.
So what brought you to Dubai?
What brought me to Dubai?
Yes.
Was opening my own business.
Okay.
Here in Dubai, in terms of starting my own tennis career out here in Dubai that has a lot more opportunities than I did potentially.
So you're in the UK, and what were you doing in the UK then?
I was a tennis coach, so I had 17 years career in coaching at some of the the best prestigious tennis clubs.
Were you a professional tennis player at any point?
No, I played a very good level, but no.
What level did you play?
County national level.
And why not go fully professional?
I think you had to make that commitment very young. Right. See, with education, it's a big commitment at 12 to make that decision.
What's the barrier to entry then?
The barrier to entry is taking that full leap that if it doesn't work, you have nothing to fall back on.
Okay, so what the parents said, right, you've got to be educated. Education is number one.
Exactly.
Tennis is a game.
Exactly.
And yet you have made it a career.
I have. So.
Okay. You say you were a tennis coach in the UK, 17 years. Tell me some of the places you worked there.
So I worked at the Hurlingham Club,
okay,
which is obviously a very prestigious members club in kind of Fulham, Chelsea area. And then I worked at the Harbour Club, which again, another kind of famous club, all private clubs, and then some local clubs near me. Then some private courts, which is actually where the business started to grow, was doing something more discreet and consistent for clients and turn up to their private courts.
Herding Club. Now,
yes.
That's a famous court, a club, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that where it's pre-Wimbledon? Is that where it's...
They do called a Giorgio Armani tournament.
Yes.
Which is a warm-up.
First Wimbledon.
Correct. So we had Djokovic come.
Right.
Just before I came. And they run a little social tournament. So it's not actually part of the ATP tour, but it is run as like a warm-up for the grass court season, yes.
Okay. So how long were you at the Herding for?
I was there for a year and a bit.
Okay. And at what point did you start thinking about coming to Dubai?
To be honest, me and my partner have always kind of looked at options abroad. Obviously, before Brexit, it was a big thing. But then after Brexit, getting around Europe became very tough. So we kind of put that on the back burner. But we were always looking for a new change, new challenge. And I actually read an article from the Times. And the heading was, leaving Britain for Dubai to get ahead. And the caption below read, Dubai is a city of growth, opportunity, sunshine and safety. And then 6 weeks later, we'd rented the flat out, told our family we're going, and got on a flight to Dubai.
So you came over here with your partner?
I have, yes.
And what's she up to?
She is a headhunter.
Right.
Works in Infra and Energy in the financial district here in Dubai.
How was it for her to get a job?
She had a big company she worked for in the UK in London, and so that put her in good stead for job opportunities here in Dubai. So she had quite a few offers from different companies, and then just whittled them down to the best one.
Apart from reading this article, I'm sure that's not the only reason you came here.
Yeah.
What was the sort of defining moment that happened either in your career or in your life that in the UK that meant that you left everybody in the UK and moved over here?
For both of us, it was a change. But for me personally, on the business front, it was able to scale a business much bigger than I could do from London.
And why wouldn't you be able to do what you're doing here in London?
It has a lot more restrictions. There's less courts available other than in clubs. And in clubs, there's certain rules and regulations and you're restricted. But here there are a lot more courts, kind of local parks or in apartments or condos. So there's a lot more flexibility to grow.
Matt, you're in Dubai. You're going to be a tennis coach. There are hundreds of tennis coaches, I would imagine, in Dubai. What makes you so different?
I think the big thing that stands out from what I want to do compared to other coaches is not just the hour on court, but offering a service so much bigger than just the hour. What pushed me and inspired the whole business was when I was a junior, my head coach that I kind of looked up to, he really, really had an attention to detail. So if I came into his office, everything would be laid out correctly. It would have a purpose. And then he'd then take that onto the on-court, where he would have a clear lesson plan. He'd have a clear kind of structure with the equipment. But then he wouldn't stop there. He would then go on to evaluating after the session. Maybe 2 days later, he'd say, how did you get on in your session? Have you tried out what we've been practicing? How was that? So it was so much more than just the hour. And that's something I've tried to kind of add into my business, is that it's what you do off court as well as what you do on court.
So normal coach just teaches, says goodbye at the end of the hour, bring on the next person.
Correct.
End of, I'll see you next week.
Correct.
And how do you follow up with these people? So I've come for an hour.
Yeah.
And then what happens? Do you call me, or do I have to come and see you?
No, so I would write out a little kind of a bio or a little description on how that player got on. So if you're a parent and little Jimmy comes along for a session, obviously the parent doesn't always see what's been taught, what's the progression. So this would be a regular, like a diet plan. You'd have a regular week-to-week plan of what the next week's going to entail and how I want the progression to be.
Okay, so we do this. We sign up to this. What difference am I going to see in Jimmy's behavior?
To me, tennis isn't just hitting a tennis ball. It's the mindset. So I use chess a lot in my teaching. The idea of thinking the move ahead, controlling the middle of the board or controlling the court. So I actually teach chess during the session because I'm a big believer that gives you that anticipation or that thought that you need for any sport, I would say, to be successful.
Is this for everyone, all ages? Or
yeah, all ages, all abilities. So I coach from kind of beginners, recreational, social, to performance players that might eventually want to become professionals.
What is this, a 4-hour day? Tell me about your day. How does your day look?
I would rather go for the quality than the quantity. So for me, it's more about picking certain people that kind of are involved and believe in what I'm selling and then really tailor that session towards them. So it could just be 3-4 hours a day. It really, for me, depends on the client itself.
And were you doing this in the UK?
I was falling more into it.
Right.
Private work I was doing. And I found that a lot of families like that consistency, kind of regular discussions, the follow-ups. I found that was successful, which is why I wanted to bring it here in Dubai.
When you say families, you mean they had children who you were teaching, or they themselves were teaching?
I was teaching everyone in the family. So I'd go there to the family who have a court. I would teach sometimes gran, dad, and then the 2 kids. So it'd be a 3-4 hour in the same location. Sometimes they'd take me for lunch. It was a trust. It was a relationship rather than just for 1 hour.
So what does the ideal client look like?
I think for me, because families of what I did mostly in the UK, it would be families or professionals who potentially have their own court or are looking for that extra service that I provide.
Let's talk about, you set up a business here in Dubai.
Yeah.
Talk me through that process in detail.
So the structure was the most important bit, and we started with the whole idea of trying to set up a company through the freezone. So the freezone allows us to have a legitimate company that is then kind of, I can work worldwide, I can work in the UAE, I can work globally, and it's a great way to start a company without too many restrictions.
Did you do it all yourself, or did you use a company to help?
I used a company, but some bits they didn't do, which I'm learning that it would have been helpful if they did.
Okay, tell me about that. How did you find that company?
So this company was, I looked at quite a few, I searched quite a few, and then someone recommended that they've used it before, a contact I have here in Dubai. So I went for that because of the connection.
Just talk me through the exact process from start to finish, from the first phone call to you getting your business license.
So the initial call was explaining what I wanted to do, the company I wanted. They then set out a structure list. So that means on what category your company falls under. So mine's obviously sport, and then there's other things like concierge, travel. So you've got to make sure all the categories fit under your company. Call 2 was they then come back to you with an idea of what's the next stage. And the next stage for them is they want 1 payment. They want 2, they want to start the process for the visa. Because you have a choice whether you want to just open up a company or you want the visa too. Obviously for me, it was company and visa.
Did you have to come here?
So everything was done remotely from start to finish.
And how long did that process last?
Process from that side was pretty quick. I'd say 2-3 weeks. And then for me, it started from when I got here because I wanted my Emirates ID, and that's the bit that took longer than expected.
Tell me about that.
Because so this company didn't include healthcare and they didn't include insurance. So I had to do that myself.
Why was that a problem?
So because my visa was from Sharjah, which is above Dubai, I had to do a lot of things from Sharjah, not from Dubai. So I had to go and to get my health check. I had to go to Sharjah for that, which I didn't know at the time. I then had to pick a healthcare option, which actually takes quite a long time because there's so many different options out there, and navigating which one is tough. So I'd advise anyone, if you can, use someone who would help you through that process, because picking one, you don't know what's right for you. If there's 50, which one's the right one for you? And obviously from London, you have the NHS. These things are not such a priority to you. But it's mandatory here in Dubai to have health insurance.
Did you find that expensive?
Well, I was advised actually to pick a cheaper option to get your Emirates ID. So without your Emirates ID, you can't open a bank account. You can't work officially. So for me, the Emirates ID was the goal, to get that as quick as possible. So I actually pick a cheaper option for the healthcare, and then you can change that weeks after.
And what's the cheaper option? How much is that?
So we're talking around £50 to £70 for the year.
Okay.
But that is the basic option. I wouldn't recommend that forever because obviously there's a lot of restrictions to that. But I think for a start point, if you don't have the help, that's a great alternative.
So 50 or 60 pounds, which is what, about 300 or 400 dirhams.
Yeah.
So you get basic healthcare.
Yeah.
And that provides what for you? When you say, I mean, you can be sick and go to hospital, yes, I presume?
Correct.
Yeah.
So that restricts you to a very low number of hospitals.
Right.
Yeah. Obviously mine is also in Sharjah. So I would have to travel to Sharjah if I was ill. And then you have to pay. So some insurance, you get co-insurance where they pay 20%, 10%. But here I'd have to pay the whole thing.
Okay.
So there's a cost to it.
That's how basic it is. Very basic. And getting a company, you found a company to set up your company.
Correct. Yeah.
Get your license, get your visa. The problem was getting health insurance, but everything else, I'm presuming, ran fairly smoothly.
Correct. Yes.
And what would be your advice to someone today if they want to do something similar to you from overseas, wanting to set up a company?
I would find a company that does the whole thing. So the whole setup, the healthcare, the insurance, everything is all done in one package.
And do you think you could do all of that yourself?
I think you would struggle.
Why?
Because there's a lot of logistics. There's a lot of hoops, a lot of things that you have to navigate to get there. But if you're not familiar with it, it's a long process.
Sharjah's another Emirate,
Yes.
but your visa is in the UAE. It's a UAE Emirates ID.
Correct.
So it doesn't really matter where you set up the company, or does it?
It shouldn't, and it didn't, but it only mattered to me for the things like the biometrics.
Right.
I had to attend my driving license. I had to attend Sharjah to get the requirements I needed.
So interestingly, you've chosen to live in an area called Jumeirah Garden City, which as a real estate agent is an area that I'm very interested in at the moment. And it's somewhere where a lot of my clients are asking me about, because it's a regeneration zone or area of Dubai. It was where a lot of the older villas were. And now those have been razed to the ground and it's being redeveloped, should we say, rather than being a piece of sand outside of Dubai. This is definitely very central. It's very close to the metro. It's very close to Sheikh Zayed Road, etc. How do you find Jumeirah Garden City and where you're living?
Well, for us, we did a little bit of research, and for me, it has a great blend of that kind of chaos. You know, if I go out my balcony for a coffee, if I turn to my right, there's buildings, chaos, the financial district, the loud, the buzz, the energy. And then to the left side, I've got townhouses, the sea, the ocean is calm. So I think for us, that blend of chaos but calm is quite a nice mix.
And if you were to choose a place, maybe in London, that you could say this is similar to somewhere in London where you're familiar, what would you say the area is?
So the area pretty much near where I grew up. So Greenwich is a nice mix,
right?
Between, you've got that greenery area, but then you're 10 minutes from London Bridge.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'll put that.
I've been telling people that it's a bit like Shoreditch. Would you see that?
I can see it getting there, like the City Walk area.
Yes.
I had a nice little walk around there. It's getting trendy and there's a lot of pop-up stuff.
Yeah.
But Shoreditch to me is a very odd dress sense, and I don't think it's there yet.
No.
Yeah.
But Greenwich, I never thought about that. It is because you've got obviously the River Thames.
Yeah.
And you've got beautiful parks.
Yes, exactly.
And I don't presume you're going to be working in that area at all.
Less so.
But your partner's working in TIFC.
Correct.
So how is she getting to work from Jumeirah Garden City?
Currently she can walk.
And how long does that walk take her?
15, 20 minutes, but a lot of it is through a mall or through an air-conned escalator area. So she's actually quite lucky in that sense, which is partly why also we thought it's a good area.
Do you think if push came to shove and you had the money you would buy in Jumeirah Garden City, do you think?
We are leaning that way. Obviously, it's still early doors. We're 4 weeks.
So you like the area?
Yeah, very much so. I think the idea of the metro, took the metro a few times, very different to the UK. But
what was the difference?
It's clean. I suppose there's chaos. The times I've taken it, it's been busy. They have a weird formula of people just get on without waiting for people to come off, which is very different.
Does that not happen in the UK?
It does, but you'll get a dirty look.
Yeah.
So
and here, no one gives you a dirty. It's normal. Yeah.
It's like a normal occurrence. It's very efficient, so there's not been one delay. When the UK, they will stop and start very often. Very cheap if you were to travel. London transport is definitely a lot more costly.
Right.
So you had to buy.
Have you ever managed to get a seat on the metro?
I did, and then someone came on and they were a little bit older, so I offered them my seat. So,
very good.
So, yeah.
What a true British gentleman. Yeah. I've never been offered a seat on the metro so far. I'm waiting for the day, and I think maybe that's the day that I probably have to give up. If someone thinks I'm that old that I have to have a seat on the metro. But there are notices, and I stand by notices where they says you have to give up this seat for elderly people.
Just take it as a compliment.
Yeah. I take it as a compliment. Yes, I do. So as you came here to Dubai, just obviously you went through a few processes with setting up the company, and the Sharjah thing with the medical. Have there been any other big challenges or surprises that you've come across?
I think I was under the impression the Emirates ID would arrive much quicker than expected. So I only got it pretty much a week ago. So it took 3 and a bit weeks to arrive. And that really does restrict what you can and can't do here in Dubai. So without the Emirates ID, you can't open a bank account. Even going to the gym, they wanted to see Emirates ID. So I think that restriction was tough over the first 3 weeks. So my advice, if you can do it quickly or get it sorted beforehand, because you have to be in Dubai to get the Emirates ID. You can't get that.
Why do you think it took so long for you to get an Emirates ID?
I think for me, I spent a bit of time looking at healthcare options, maybe longer than I should. So that'd be one thing. And the other thing is that through Shams, you had to go through a lot of which is the company I use. There's a lot of signing on the portal that takes time and an approval. So again, these things take time.
So your partner,
yes,
she got an Emirates ID.
She did.
How quickly did she get her Emirates ID?
Quicker than me, but she was obviously sponsored by a company.
Right.
Rather than setting it.
So the normal way of getting an Emirates ID is to come over here, get a job, and then your company will sort everything out. So under that pretext, how long did it take her to get all that?
So she could work straight away.
Right.
I assume the Emirates ID was then
under process.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then, about 2.5 weeks.
Okay. Still took some time.
Yeah. But she could work.
Right.
There was a lot of things she could do under the Emirates.
And did she manage to open a bank account?
No, she's only recently done it.
Right.
As well.
Pretty good. So Matt, before you came here, did you know anybody who lived here already?
We had 2 good contacts, yes.
Yes. Who were they?
So one was a lady who helped me through the business setup. She actually set her business up. She's a teacher, set up a business in Dubai and has been here for 12, 15 years. The other one is a good family friend. So my brother-in-law's best friend, who again has moved out here 10, 15 years ago and has started a family, just started his own career here.
And you managed to find an apartment as well. So how did you do that before you came here?
So we researched a few areas and then we reached out to people we knew and we actually got offered one through someone we knew.
When you talk to your friends who live here, have you found something different in them than you think you would find anywhere else in the world? What I'm trying to get at is I think that when you talk to people here, they're very much more willing to help you and to be much more open.
Yes. Sorry.
And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. So here you are, you've got a couple of friends here in Dubai.
Yeah.
And you've also got a great friend network in the UK because of your job and your wife's job, etc. So you're coming here, you only know 2 people.
Yeah.
Tell me some of the things that have happened that you thought, oh, this is all right.
I think their openness to help is a big factor. So in the UK, you have a big network, but I find that a lot of the time there's 99 things you shouldn't do rather than maybe 99 things you could do here. And I think in Dubai, they're open to opportunities. So the friends that we have can lead you in the right direction and are happy to do so.
So they're a lot more helpful.
I'd say. I'm not open to...
I must admit, I've always found that. I've found that people here are much more willing to help you and to encourage you. I always say this, and it's sort of probably repeating other podcasts I've done, is that when you talk to someone about setting up a business in the UK, friends will think of like 20 reasons why you shouldn't do it. And you're crazy, you shouldn't do that. Whereas I think here, people just go, yeah, what a great idea.
Yeah.
I know this person, he can help. I can see if we can do anything for you to help you. I mean, to be fair, in a way, that's why you and I are sitting here right now.
That's true.
Is because we know we have a mutual friend in the UK, and you reached out to me, and then I said, well, I can't help you very much because I know nothing about tennis, but I know something about doing a podcast.
Yeah.
So here you are. And I thought, oh, this will be good. It'd be interesting for people who are watching this podcast to learn a bit more about your journey into coming to Dubai. Yes.
And one of the friends I have has put me into her social group. Okay. We go and play paddle. Obviously, paddle's quite big here.
Right.
I think the social scene in paddle is very good. So they do a lot of kind of play paddle, go for a drink afterwards. And I think that's also helped being new to have that social side.
Let's talk about paddle because obviously you come here as a tennis coach.
I can coach paddle too.
But you could, right. So what's the difference between paddle and tennis?
Oh, where do we begin? I would say it's less technical, but it's tougher with the walls. So it's kind of a mix. People might not like to say it, but squash and tennis. So you have to use the back walls and the side walls, but it's less technical.
And can you be better at tennis than you can at paddle, or vice versa? Which one's more challenging?
Most people from tennis play paddle, so there's a good understanding of that. A lot of net game, so paddle is based at the net a lot. So if you like being at the net, paddle's your sport.
But if I'm just coming off the straight and I've never played tennis or paddle, which one's easier to get going?
I think paddle is more forgiving, and the balls will stay in one area, which is always good when you're learning. Not chasing after not letting your neighbours next to you.
Yeah. You got a life in England.
Yeah.
You've come to Dubai. When you talk about back to people, you talk to your friends in England, and they're probably asking, how's it going? What sort of myths have you able to dispel now that you have the first-hand experience of living here? Or maybe you had some preconceived ideas of what life would be like here in Dubai. What do you say to that?
I think one of the main ones is that a lot of people I've spoken to, there's a myth that people just come here as a stopover, a year or two. And then everyone I spoke to in Dubai has been here for 5, 10, 15 years. So, but the original plan was let's go out for a year or two, have the benefits that Dubai gives, and then move on. When actually, I think Dubai has so much more to offer that people end up staying long term.
How would you describe your sort of day-to-day reality of living here in comparison to maybe what people think from the outside?
It's very efficient. So everything is on your doorstep. Dubai is a city that really does promote kind of anything with excellence, anything with a drive. It's a city of networking. It's a city of, if you've got a passion, it really does blend well to that.
So you're obviously in the sport business.
Yeah.
And I would have thought that one of the things about sport, you've already mentioned it about the paddle and getting in with, it's a way of meeting people, isn't it? It's a great community built around sport. No?
I think sport in general is great for that because you have a common interest.
And when you talk to these people, this is my idea for a business. Actually, it's not even an idea anymore. It's actually being put into practice. What sort of reception are you getting from people?
Mostly positive. I think, I've had a few people say in the social groups, come and do a session with my son, come and do a session with here. So it's definitely a great way to build a business is through the social networks, the meetup groups, the Facebook communities.
So this is a new business. What are your expectations over the next year or two?
I would like to volley my business into something that is recognized as the go-to for families, for professionals that want more than just the lesson on court. I'm not just selling a lesson, I'm selling trust. It's a bigger picture.
And you've got a long-term view on Dubai?
We will take it. We're only 4 weeks in, so the long term seems a long way away. But right now, I can see why people stay for sure. I can see why people buy property. I can see why people settle down. It's very tailored for families, for young professionals. We went to the Right Market on the weekend, which is just a kind of a pop-up market, and everything had something for kids. So, a digger patch, car washing for kids. It just had everything. So they really do cater to the young professional families.
So the Right Market is a very good example of a local business.
Yeah.
That was set up, I believe, by an Australian lady, maybe a British, but I think she was Australian. And she set that up as basically selling organic fruit and veg in a very small shop. And I don't think she was even importing. She got local growers to supply her with organic fruit and vegetables. And it all started off like that. A very small shop, miniature shop. And then she's just grown, I would say, over the last 15 years.
It was packed when I went on Sunday.
It's an amazing thing. It's amazing.
It felt like a pop-up. There's a lot of them in the UK. Where they have these like food stalls.
It's like a farmer's market.
Correct. Yeah. And they have these stalls where you can go in and buy anything. It's not just food. It's you can go and buy something for your dog. You can go and buy something for your auntie. It really covers all bases.
It's quite a social thing, I think, as well.
It is, yes.
There's a few nice coffee shops and etc.
Yeah, it was full of families and big groups.
Just wrapping up, what advice would you give to someone who's sitting at home outside of Dubai and saying, like, I'd love to live in Dubai, but where do I start? Well, your recent experience, where would you?
I think coming over for a good couple of weeks, building some strong connections, even with 2 or 3 people, really does open doors. So for me, it would be building a small network that you can rely on to then open doors as you eventually move over.
I met a client the other day who's got a daughter, and her daughter was with them. I think she's probably, I don't know, late 20s, whatever. She's a chartered accountant. She's been working in the US and the UK. And the father was saying, look, this is a great place. Why don't you come and live here? And she said, no, I don't know anybody here. What would you say to that? I came here and I didn't know anybody who was living here. I came here for work. What would you say to someone who was concerned about not having anybody here or not knowing anybody here in Dubai?
I think Dubai offers a lot of opportunity to meet people. So as long as you put yourself out there, join some social groups, go for a walk. So they have a walk where you get together, have a stroll down, by the beach, and you're just chatting. So it's very organic, very natural. And to me, as long as you put yourself out there, it will accept you.
Is your partner, is she enjoying it as much as you are?
She is. Obviously, she's a lot more 9 to 5, 9 to 6 job. So she's a lot more kind of in the swing of normal life. But we do make sure over the weekend we explore Dubai and what it has to offer.
What does that look like? What does the weekend look like for you? So you wake up on a Saturday morning?
Yeah, we're quite active. So we'll go for a walk, or we'll go to the gym, have a swim, and then we'll go and explore. Sadly, we've spent probably too much time in malls recently, but that's obviously kitting out the apartment, making sure everything's ready. We've got a lot of family and friends coming out in the next few weeks. And then go for a nice dinner and explore what that has to offer.
And where you're living, Jumeirah Garden City, have you found any good restaurants around there?
We're very close to a Zaza Pizza. Don't know if you knew.
I've heard a lot about it.
So it's
I've heard it's very good.
It's a very popular meetup. Very Instagrammable, very...
I've heard big
great
things.
pizza.
Right. Have you tried Ravi's yet?
I haven't. Is that on the list?
Ravi's. It's in Satwa. It's not too far. You could probably walk to it from your place. Ravi's is an institution here in Dubai. There was a magazine, I think it's still going, Time Out magazine, from Time Out Dubai, and the 50 things to do in Dubai. Ravi's was always on that list. It's a Pakistani restaurant, which was predominantly used by laborers and by taxi drivers. It's like the original transport cafe.
They're always the best there are.
And if you haven't been to Ravi's,
okay, it's on my list.
You definitely need to go. And it's getting smaller, and I hope it's going to stay, because they used to be much larger. There was a family area, but their food is consistently good. So Matt, I've signed up with you. You're my new tennis coach. And I've signed up for whatever time. You tell me what's ideal. What sort of day 1 to day 60, 90 look like?
Well, I think day 1 is finding out what your needs are. So what you want to progress, how far you want to take your tennis. So I think finding what you need is especially a conversation we have over the phone or meeting to find out exactly what your needs are. And then from then, I can put a plan together that meets those needs. So if you wanted to take tennis seriously and compete, then obviously the scalability of how many sessions we have a week is increased. The options of helping you with tournaments or support that way is different. So each client has a different approach. So it's my job to find out what that is, work with you, and then tailor a package that fits your needs.
It's a bit rather like my job as a real estate agent. When an investor comes to me, I have to understand what their strategy is.
Correct.
And, budget obviously is one thing, but really it's about your strategy. What are you trying to do? And then I have to educate them as to what we can do to help them.
It's exactly that.
Same thing.
Exactly that.
Interesting. How did we find that analogy? How did we find that connection? Yeah.
Who knew it was?
Yeah, and you're a professional, and I'm a professional.
Yeah.
So we can consider that we are similar in that way. Yes. So once you've established the plan,
Yeah.
how do you actually execute that plan?
So if we looked at kind of a 60 to 90 day kind of plan, I would say a lot of that is spent maybe 3-4 hours a week on call, depending on how kind of in depth you want to go in the tennis. And then the other time is then spent off court. So it would be regular catch-ups, regular meetings, whether that's just a 10-minute phone call during the week. It's then working out how the previous week went and then how we want to see the next week progress. So each week has a progression.
And each week, I presume you sit down and assess what's happened in that week.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
And then if there's another option we offer is kind of a fly-in. So let's say you were going abroad and you wanted a coach to come out, that is an option we provide.
So it's the idea that you're going to have more than you in this company.
Yes. So I have some other people that I trust and that have a similar philosophy to me who are interested in joining the business.
And where are they at the moment?
In London.
So they're going to come over as well. So they're waiting to see what you're going to do.
Yes.
And then you're going to bring more people here.
Correct.
So you're going to be a big corporation in the future.
Specific, but yes, we're trying to expand, but always keeping that discreet, private feel.
Matt Ryan, if someone wants to get hold of you, what's the best way to reach you?
Well, I have an Instagram account, so the best way to get in contact with me is through that, and that is volley.uae. So that is VOLLI.UAE.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for your time.
Big thank you to Matt for sharing his experience. It's a great reminder that success in Dubai isn't about where you start. It's about taking the first step and making things happen. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with anyone that would enjoy it. If you need any help with off-plan properties in Dubai, you can get in touch with me through my website, www.stephenmackey.com. See you next time.